Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the one, the only, the hilarious Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. I
Hi.
always love a good Top Chef day. I love it. My Top Chef.
Oh, yes, I love a Top Chef. I also am craving Wellingtons so much after this episode. I just want something wrapped in puff pastry and put in my mouth. That's all I want
Oh,
right now.
someone who's done a lot of dinner theater in his life. Let me tell you, that shit's overrated. But here's the good part of it: the breading on the outside. You could bread a piece of shit and I would eat it. Okay. God, I love breading.
I know breading is the best. So we're going to recap Top Chef, obviously. But before we dive into that, we're at our final few shows of the tour. Okay. We're going in June, San Diego. And then the following weekend, we go to St. Paul, Chicago, and Columbus. And the following weekend, Boston and Foxwoods Casino. And then that's it. That's it for it.
That's it.
Like if you miss it, then that's unfortunate because
We're
you'll have
quitting.
to wait
We're
a
done.
year. That's
We're
a wait a
done.
year.
Who
We're
even knows
done.
what's going to happen in a year? We could just
Who knows?
both decide to do something completely else and just quit.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's
Um,
our final tour.
Also, we announced this week that we have taken this podcast to a video quite a bit. We've been doing video on Crappens on Demand for a long time, and we love doing it that way. But we want to do more. It's easier to record videos now. I know a lot of you guys like watching video, so we have added to Crappens on Demand. We don't want to say all, because some days we're just not going to want to. Okay. And we're not going to do live shows on video, but you can watch most of our recaps now on video. If you want them the day they come out, right when they're released, you need to be on Crappens on Demand level on Patreon. But if you don't want to pay dick, you don't want to pay anything, and you still want to watch videos, they will be released 1 week later on YouTube. So go follow us on YouTube, and you can watch us on video. It's just going to be 1 week later. The audio episodes are still going to come out all the time. We're just adding we're charging a little more for Patreon, but we're expanding it. Okay. And
More
then
videos
we
per
are
week.
giving a lot more free for the free people who really don't want to pay, and we don't blame you. Okay. There's no pressure to. That's just what's going on. So we hope you guys like it. Let us know in the comments whether you like this decision, whether you don't like this decision, whatever. Okay. Let us know. But anyway, that means we're seeing more of you now on video. So hello.
Yeah. And for those who are watching us on video, please enjoy our co-star for today, Miss Padma Lakshmi, who appears behind both of our faces. Wow.
Wow. Did you mean to make me pretend that I would actually eat a Carl's Jr. burger? Look at me.
The photo of Padma that's behind me is a photo that I took when I was in the supermarket last night. I was at the checkout lane and I looked, and on the cover of Us Weekly is none other than Padma Lakshmi with a caption that says, or a headline that says, "The powerful Padma Lakshmi." Bless their hearts. It's implied. It's so nice of them to spell it out, though.
So, welcome. This is Season 20, Episode 11, called The Battle of the Wellingtons. Isn't that fun? At stake for the winner, literally pride. Because you're going to look really stupid when you lose this show to Gabri. I'm going to tell you that right now. Spoiler alert.
Seriously. So, Buddha, we start off, and Buddha is like, "Well, I guess I dodged a challenge," and he goes from last week. They just eliminated Victoire, and Buddha's like, "Well, I've done 24 challenges back to back, because of our back to back seasons, But I'm gonna trip at one stage," and I was like, "You're so cocky. I'm sorry. That is such a cocky thing to say. Like, well, I've done 24. It was bound to have a bit of a stumble at some point. Sir, don't act like you didn't serve room temperature salmon at Downton Abbey."
Why don't I hate him? I feel like I should fucking hate
I
Buddha.
love Buddha, but
I feel
he's
like on
cocky.
any other show he would bug me. It doesn't bug me. And you know why? I think because he just
He's
makes
really
such
good.
pretty food. I think he's so
really
good.
talented.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like in sports, when people are really, really cocky and stuff, like they're supposed to be. They're in sports, and I don't know. He's just got like such a cute little boyish face and a little smile while he's being so cocky that I don't know. It doesn't bug me. for some
I don't know.
reason.
For me, I think what bothers me is that like I feel like the cockiness. I feel like it's at least cockier this
I'm
season.
sorry,
And
everybody.
are you okay? Did your microphone fall
No, I'm
over?
so sorry. I'm trying
Oh
to, we're trying to be
no.
more professional for more video, and I'm pulling my mic out. I'm ruining everybody's ears. Okay, Ben, go ahead. I'm just tightening on my, hold
Oh,
on.
wow. Did you mean to mess up your microphone situation there? Hmm.
Sorry.
Wow,
Okay, go ahead.
your microphone looks real sad right now. It's almost like Gail going into a 7-Eleven and finding out there's no food left.
You're so droopy right now. It's like when the elevator doors open and it's just Gail standing there going down.
Anyway, so Gabri is saying how he's been in the bottom 5 times and survived. So Amar's like, "You're a cat, bro. You're El Gato. You're a cat,
El
bro. You know what's
gato.
you know where they have a lot of cats? Morocco. Yeah, it used to be called Morcato, but it changed along the ways."
And Gabriel's like, this competition has been a roller coaster. After I won Top Chef Mexico, I was able to buy a farm with my mother. And then they show a picture of this really sad. It's like that famous painting where they're holding
Yeah,
the
American
hay
Gothic or
poker.
something.
Yes, thank you. Because I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
think that's what's called.
hopefully Ben knows what it's called, because I sure as shit don't. And so he did like a picture
Like
like
a
that with
spoof.
somebody.
Yeah.
And he's like, but now if I win this one, I can get a better farm because that farm sucks. I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
I
Because
love that just going on competition. Let's just keep going on competitions till we've got a better fucking farm. You
well,
know,
he
sounds
says
good to
that
me,
like
girl.
well, it sounds like he said that he got a farm, but that farm is covered with weeds. So now he wants the money to basically make his farm good. Or he could do what Sarah does and serve the weeds to me and say it's actually something that people eat.
Yeah, you could do what Sarah does and add some gorgonzola to the weeds. Gail will eat them.
So now it's the next day and everyone's getting ready. So Buddha FaceTimes his wife. So I thought, oh, is this? You can't tell. You never know if this is the FaceTime of death or the FaceTime of victory.
Yeah,
So
because
he's
it's
like,
towards the end, and everybody who's going to get kicked off now is really good, except the cat. So Buddha calls his wife, who, let me say, this is not a vain person, you know? And I always respect when I see people who just have zero vanity. She knows she's going to be on national TV. She answers her cell phone and then she holds it down below her rib cage and then looks down on it. That is literally nobody's best angle. Who talks like that on a phone?
I don't know, but she's like, oh, I don't care. I've got to make some pastries for a restaurant that I work in. So he's saying how he's like, you know, when I knew it'd be hard for my wife when I decided to come here on Top Chef, but she said within half a second, you got to do it. And if you miss me, don't worry. I made you a mold of me. Take it with you.
Me and Rebecca, we've got goals. We're gonna have a family soon. And
We got a fast car. Takes a while to get out of here, but we're gonna make it.
then they show his like little dog that he spent his winnings on last time to get that little cute dog, little pudgy dog, eye surgery. Oh my God, he's worth it. He's worth it. Spend that money. So then we
Sure.
go to the kitchen and Padma's an ombre, which why? Why would you do that to yourself? I think today's show is hateful towards women. There, I'm gonna say it. Today's
Wow.
episode
I'm in
just
the sand.
some misogynist came and just took over and really hurt all the women on the show today. I wasn't happy with it. So Padma's an ombre,
Wow.
and she's like, welcome, chefs. Top 6. Quite an accomplishment. I'd like
Unless
to
you're
introduce. Oh,
unless you're talking
sorry.
about the New York Times bestseller list, in which case top 6. Wow. How about you be number 1 for once?
Wow.
Sorry,
Quite an
non-writers.
accomplishment. None of you have a steamable rice in the grocery store section of some grocery stores. Am I right? And that's a bigger one, but still top 6 of something of somewhere. Great.
Don't say top 6 around Gail unless you want to hear Twix, Kit Kat, Snickers, Milky Way, Almond Joy, and Mounds. I've recognized it at this point. I memorized it, I should say.
I'd like to introduce you to 2 Michelin star chefs. One less than what's her buns from a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
Andrew, Andrew, not
Andrew,
my dear friend
slightly.
Wong. So, Andrew, what's it like being a less famous version of my very dear personal close Wong friend, Ali Wong?
You know what's funny is that Ali Wong is a star and you only have 2 stars. God, if you and Ali Wong merged, you could finally get that third Michelin star.
You have 2 stars, but Ali Wong is a real star. Do you feel like the wrong Wong right now?
I have a question. When you think about the fact that your star is named after a strange little tubby mannequin that plays with tires, then you think about Ali Wong's star that's based off of just pure fame. Does that make you want to cry?
So Tom's like, oh my God, Wonga's a beast of a chef. I'm thinking we're going to cook in a dishwasher today because they're standing by a dishwasher. By the way, with dishwasher detergent on top.
I
And
know.
you gotta love this show just taking any ad they can get. They're like, wow, dishwashing detergent sounds delicious. Let's do it. Gail, put a cherry on top of that and just eat some on Instagram. We're in.
Chefs, this quickfire is sponsored by a concept that Gail doesn't understand when it comes to eating. Finish.
So who here likes to do dishes? And Ali's like, I don't mind. And she goes, huh. I mind. That's why I just pass mine by Gail when I'm done. Licks them clean every time. Unfortunately, I passed her my Nintendo Switch on a plane and she licked that clean too. I said, Gail, it's just another flat surface, not a plate. I had to start Zelda all over again.
Poor thing. Poor thing electrocuted herself to the tune of the Hyrule Castle. How awkward.
Dun 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 shing. Quickfire challenge. When it comes to water conservation, I was like, oh, shut up, Padma. Just shut up. You know that she was like, okay, you know what? I'll take a dishwasher detergent if I can talk about water conservation. It's really important to me.
What was the name of that judge they just had on who made them lick plates?
Oh, good.
Gagan.
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 Yeah, Gagan.
Wow. Gagan likes to do dishes. Sorry, that was a joke that would have been a lot funnier about 5 minutes ago. Anyway.
Don't put in any of Gagan's in there. Am I right? Talk about a waste of water.
When it comes to water conservation, we recommend people hold up bowls to Gail as she walks across the room. Just capture all that sweat.
Did you know that you can save up to 20 gallons a load by skipping the rinse when you use the dishwasher? Excuse me. Does anybody want to eat off a soapy goddamn dish, Padma? Do you have any other ideas?
You know, Gail's been conserving water for years. That explains why she doesn't shower.
Speaking of blue cheese, am I right?
Wow, I wonder if Michelin stars are made of water, because that would explain why you're conserving water by not having a third one, Andrew. Sorry, it took me a while to get there, but I hope it's still burned.
It was a while. So she's like, another way you can conserve water as a chef is to take a look at how you prepare your food. For example, I suggest using water. It's like, what? How does this make any sense? She's like, she's talking about steaming, but that takes water. I mean, roasting takes less water.
I know. It's like, in an effort to conserve water, we're going to have you use water and evaporate it so it disappears into the environment.
We're going to have you save water today by boiling pasta. Welcome to the pasta.
We're going to have you save water by turning the Quickfire kitchen into a small wave pool, and then you can ride a surfboard on it like Alvin in the opening credits of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
So Andrew Wong's like, steaming is incredible. It's a delicate way not to only maintain moisture and nutrients, but moisturize the food. And Padma's like, our friends at Finish want a dish with a steamed element and a dishwasher soap. And since we're conserving water, the only water you can use must fit into that pot. And that's all you can use in this challenge.
Now, unfortunately, you won't have a lot of time with this water, as Gail will need to have her bathroom back.
Sarah's like, 1 gallon of water for all 6 of us for this gentleman who has 2 Michelin stars? This is going to be like finding a needle dick's DNA in a stack of Paducah blankets.
The winner, that was gross, Sarah. The winner of this challenge. By the way, I would like to offer, Sarah, if you have any quilts, we can put it in the dishwasher and see if that helps. Okay. The winner of this challenge will get $10,000 from Finnish, which is not to be confused with the very famous Finnish person I plan to befriend very soon.
I can't wait to go to Finland and ask a Finnish. Where did we steal sardines from in America? Who
I
invented
do
those?
I do plan to go to Finland and say, take me to your most famous person so I can remind them that they're not as famous as American famous.
But I'd like to remind everyone you're going to get $10,000 from the company named after something my first husband could never do. Finish. Okay.
Don't run out of steam. That was a pun that I made.
Oh, I got it. I
Go.
got it, me. Go,
Yeah,
everybody.
steam. Steam.
So
So,
Mars, like, if you know me, guys, I saute or I fry things. I don't steam. I
wow. Well,
mostly
I think
saute in Morocco, actually, but you got to do it somewhere.
so. Sarah starts portioning out water for everyone, and she's like, being a mother, I know that sharing is the way to go. Because every time my little 3-month-old baby wants to steal a toy from my other baby, I'm like, stop it. You have to share. Share your little rattle. So,
Mm.
anyway, it's not me being water police. This is me being water mom.
So they all start making their steamed foods. Gabri is doing a michiote. A traditional michiote is made from lamb for 3 hours. So he's going to use fish instead, and he's going to also do a quick adobo. So these are things I've never understood about quick fires. Like, you literally can't do adobo in 5 seconds. Like, you just can't. I remember
Yeah.
when someone made a gnocchi, and that's when my mom was like, I'm calling bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. Oh, if anyone
So
cares.
then the history of when your mom checked out of the quick fires.
It was
So
like season 1. She was like, I'm done. This show's a lie.
is bullshit. Well, it's like Iron Chef and how they all know the secret ingredient ahead of time, which I think is bullshit. So Tom is gonna make a scallop mousse, and Amar's like, this is like the Indian challenge. Like, do I eat a lot of dumplings? Yes. Do I make a lot of dumplings? No. Have I been to Morocco? Yes. Will I go back? I hope so.
I think what Tom is doing is really cool. He's doing some kind of mousse, like where he gets like an egg white base and then he wraps it in plastic wrap and then he steams that and then it blows up to look like a mousse dumpling type of thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't really work, but
Oh.
it's like most of Tom's things. It sounds really cool, but then you're like, what the fuck is this? When people are like,
Yeah.
is this is this just underarm flab? Like, what is this? Why am I eating
Yeah,
this?
I'm surprised it didn't set up the way it was supposed to. I used to actually make little pots, not pot stickers. I think they were like little shumai. Tyler Florence, of all people,
Whoa.
had a recipe for it. Yeah, because when you're gonna make some shumai, why not turn to a white guy from North Carolina? But he had one on the Food Network, and you basically would put like shrimp and I think shrimp, pork, and seasoning, maybe some green onion into your food processor, and you sort of puree it up in the food processor, and then you would I think you wrapped it in dumpling things or whatever, but ultimately it gets steamed and it only took like 12 minutes and they were perfect after 12 minutes. And you would just think,
Wow.
yeah, you would think it would take so long, and it does not take long at all. So I
Huh.
would think that the scallop mousse would set up in time.
Yeah. Oh,
New
scallop
insight.
mousse? How disgusting. I didn't know what word I was trying to write. Scallop sounds gross. Never mind, I take it all back. Hope he
I think
loses.
it sounds good. I almost bought scallops last night and then I didn't, and then I have
I
regret.
like scallops cooked. I just like a scallop mousse steamed. Sounds
That's true. So much of scallop is
horrific.
that texture too, right?
Yes, the butter and the crisp on it, and then the meaty texture. I don't like scallop ceviche or any like slimy scallop. I
Well,
like it toast.
there's only one way to find out how scallop mousse tastes, by never having it ever. Ew, that's poor people's food.
Yeah. So then Sarah's doing a 5-spice steamed cabbage, and she's telling us, it's hard to develop flavors with a steam. I like roasted and burnt. That's what flavors I like. Everything I've done this season where I take my food and I put a southern twist on it and then talk about people coming on blankets. I'm going to throw that out the window like a baby in dirty bathwater. And I'm going to say, figure out how to get back up here, baby, and stop your crying. You're the one who made the bathwater so dirty in the first place. Oh, wait, you're hungry? Mama's coming. Get over here, you little baby.
I'll tell you, if there's any strategy that always works out well on Top Chef, is abandoning the tried and true and using a totally different culinary perspective that it's not organic to you. That always works out well.
You know who
So
I don't really ever want to hear say, you know what I'm going to do? Asian food for the first time. Sarah.
yeah, you know who I don't
I
want to
just,
hear say that she's going to make a 5 spice Asian cabbage? The same person who makes a spinach dish based on the time that her dad nearly chopped off her husband's foot and they had to go to the hospital. And they forgot the spinach in the oven.
So then Ali takes the rest of the water and he's talking. He says, in Arabic, we say, don't waste water, even if you're by a river. But that's what Gail says too. But it was about chocolate when you're by a chocolate river. She's the only person banned from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Sorry, I'll see
I-
myself out. I'm not in this part.
Actually, I have a correction. I do believe that Gail's expression was, don't waste air when you're near a chocolate river. Just inhale the chocolate river. It doesn't really have a poetic flow to it, but it gets her through life.
Neither does Gail, so it all makes sense, really, in the end.
Okay, now I'll see myself out. I'm going to go back and call up Gagan and let them know about this concept called finish that he could use on his dishes instead of his tongue.
So Gabri is used to sharing water because he grew up with 3 brothers. I'm like, well, okay.
Okay.
I mean, you're
Okay,
talking about taking a shower and not really steaming things, but all right.
Listen, okay. Water conservation is important, but also I don't know if I need to hear like a huge number of backstories about people's memories of using water in
But
their
we're
childhood.
we're at that point in Top Chef where, and especially after today, because today is a double elimination. So it's like we start hearing all kinds of backstories to really weird shit. And today it's like,
Yeah.
tell us about a time, Gabri, tell us about a time you had to conserve water. It's like, oh, showers. Got it. That's great.
I know.
That's
And
great.
Buddha's got his bamboo steamer out, and he's like, steam evaporates, so you're essentially losing water, but the bamboo basket is really insulated. It's good for retaining moisture. I was like, wow, really glad they supersized this episode. Really
Yeah,
glad.
right. So Tom's like, well, oh, sorry, wrong Tom. Steamed buns coming out. Did they work? I don't know if my steamed buns work. And Pat's like, chef, yeah, 5 minutes left. And then Amara's like, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I learned this in Morocco. If you're steaming something, throw oil in it, and then it steam fries it. Like, that is just frying it. I don't think there's such a thing as steam frying it. Okay. Maybe there
Although
is.
I have to
don't know.
say, it sounded delicious to me. I mean,
Me too, and it did fry it. It did fry it. It got it crispy. So you know what? I think Amar knows more than me. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. So now it's time to taste. So Gabri goes up first, and he has his soul and muscle michiote with adobo. And Pamela goes, Gabri, how did you divvy up the water? And he's like, well, Sarah took the water for all of us, and we just take what we need. Oh, okay. And did she use that water to pour on her crop plants that she's going to serve to us later, aka weeds, aka mashed up dandelions, aka buttercups and skunk turds? You know what I'm saying, Gabri? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
I'm gonna ask you a question right now that sounds a little more delicate when I ask it to Gail. Did you all have enough? So then Buddha's up and he's like, all I did is seafood hot pot with black vinegar and sable fish. There's also a watermelon radish dumpling. And then Sarah did a steamed cabbage with 5-spice tofu puree. And Mr. Wong goes, so this is a crispy chili oil, huh?
Yeah, then he reaches for a glass of water slowly. She goes, oh, I think that someone told him there was a Michelin star at the bottom of that glass. Don't mind that. Don't mind him.
So then let's see. So Alice, why do I keep saying Ali? I'm such an idiot. It's like week 90. So Ali sticks his nose in Ali's next, and the guy sticks his nose in Ali's dish. Thank you. It's very difficult for me to get out. He did a steamed sea bass with a sauce of bell pepper, garlic, and chili ginger.
Yes. And then Tom is last. Oh, not last. No, Tom is next. and he has a scallop mousse with chorizo and chorizo oil. And Andrew Wong is like, "Is this the texture of the mousse that you were looking for?" Excuse me. Let me ask that more directly. Did you mean to have such a shitty texture on your strange scallop mousse, Tom?
Can I also get the so we know that that was a dish from this idiot Wong? Okay, that would be great.
Hey,
Waiting.
Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Andrew, remember Sarah's crispy chili oil? I know, right? Makes me want to drink some water. Oh, no Michelin stars though for you.
So let's see here. Amar is like, uh-oh, I'm doing the kiss of death. This is the dumpling master right here. She goes, you made a dumpling? Your funeral dumpling man.
Yeah, because she was like, "You made a dumpling for the man who has 2 but not 3 Michelin stars in dumpling making? Wow." So he has a steamed and pan-fried pork dumpling with, wait for it, a beet tuile. So I think the tuile is the real kiss of death, because I think everyone who's made a tuile this season has like either gone home or been in the bottom. Like the tuiles are not working out for people.
They're not. I thought he said beef tuile. So I'm really glad that you corrected that, because I was like, gross. So she goes, I like that Amar, she's just so casual with. She's like, Amar, what did you even steam here? I mean, come on, Amar, give me a break. Like, she has zero respect for Omar. And he's like, the dumplings, I steamed them fried. And she's like, a nice one, Amar, stupid. Amar, did you get the haircut I paid for last week? Go get a haircut, Amar. Seriously. Get back in line, dum-dum.
Amar, I've heard there's a place that poor people really enjoy, and I would never go there, of course, but it apparently works out for people. It's called Fantastic Sam's. Come on, look into it, for crying out loud.
So not Ali Wong. How do you think our chefs did? And he's like, we were looking for steaming to be celebrated. So I'm just warning you now, whoever didn't celebrate steaming is in for one sad, sorry surprise today.
Who had one of our least favorite dishes? He's like, Sarah. Oh, I knew it. I don't have a follow-up to that. I thought I did. It just the moment took over me. I knew it, Sarah. Sarah had the least well, to be fair, she steamed her blanket, not her actual food, right?
Hopefully, otherwise there's going to be a lot of pregnant blankets in Paducah. So he's like, your dish didn't have to be Asian. You forced the Asian on the dish. And she goes, you know what? 100%. Guilty of forced Asianism. What do you want from me? All right. So then he's like, Tom, that mousse had a wet texture. And Tom's like, thank you, chef. I can't believe steamed scallop in a bolted book. Why?
All right, settle down. Okay, Amar, please tell us. I'm sorry, Andrew, please use your 2 Michelin stars to explain who's in the bottom next. And he's like, Amar, there were some technical issues with the dish. The filling ended up being quite dry. Yes, it reminded me a bit of Gail's hair. So I didn't really like that texture in my mouth.
You know what? It's like I always say to Gail's dresses, just steam them and let it go. Now for our favorites. And he's like, Gabri, great plate of food.
Excuse me.
All right.
What I really said was my new tagline. And now for some good news.
Hey, Padman, may I ask you a question? Am I English or Australian? I forgot.
And now for some good news. You're from a small island called Who the Fuck Cares?
All right, now I'll be English for the rest of this. Whoa, great adobo. Great adobo accent.
Wow, nice big English accent where we all know where you're really from. Don't tell Andrew where he's from.
Buddha, technically the dish was cooked beautifully, but our favorite of the day really celebrated steaming. It didn't shame steaming. You know, I've got a charity that actually helps steamed things gain confidence, you know? We tell steamed things it gets better. I just want steamed things to stop getting their feelings hurt. I was like, who made this guy get on the steaming bandwagon? Who gives a... I've never heard somebody so offended on behalf of steaming before.
Yeah, settle down, Steamy Nicks. All right. The winner, who's a dear, close personal friend of mine, I'd like to add, She taught me all about witchcraft. I do it sometimes to scare Gail. Anywho, the winner of this steaming Quickfire is a Buddha.
Buddha, you just won yourself $10,000 from Finnish Quantum. And he's like, oh, I'm breaking records for my own season. It's like, okay, Buddha, that's enough. Also, they're donating $10,000 to the charity Fish and French Fries Hiking in Mountains Made Out of Molehills in Sarajevo. Yay, charity! Poor people.
He's like, that's great. That's an honor. Now, Buddha, one thing we didn't mention is that those $10,000 you won come in the form of finished bottles. So enjoy your lifetime supply of Finnish detergent because you're not wealthy enough to not do your own dishes.
Dun, 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 dun. Bye, not Aliwan. Get out of here, stupid. Nobody likes you, okay? Beef, try it. Try it.
She's Padma gives him a hug, and then he's like, they hug, and he's like, it's been an actual honor. Thanks so much. She's already like walking away. Enough. The hug is the end of the communication.
That was it. I really don't know who you are. Congratulations on your mediocre number of Michelin stars. So anyway, chefs.
Listen, I appreciate you being here, but honestly, when they said A. Wong was coming, I had a whole different idea of how this episode was going to go. So you can see yourself out. Thank you.
That's why I'm wearing one friendship bracelet. Now it just looks stupid. So gather round, chefs. Gather round, chefs. Ew, not that close. God. All right.
Gather around yourselves. Around yourselves.
I didn't mean me. Okay.
Yes. Do you see gel mats here for you people in your grubby feet? No.
Just because you're friends, the battle has only just begun. You know it's going to be tough because this is the first time in history I'm doing a segment not standing on a gel mat. And she's standing in between the two gel mats. I was like, Padma is basically like, this is Padma's version of doing like a handheld docuseries in the Alps, you know?
This is her monster. This is her Charlize Theron in Monster moment. I'm stripping myself down. I'm not going to stand on a gel mat because I've got an important story to tell you.
Gail is my Christina Ricci. Go ahead. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, Padma.
Gail's my Christina Ricci. Frumpy, but without the Oscar. Anywho, one of the most iconic dishes that England has contributed to the world is bad dental work. Additionally, not so much a dish as it is a concept. Anywho, additionally, beef Wellington. Beef Wellington is beef that's been coated in pate and duxelle, sort of like Gail's TV remote. Wrapped in puff pastry and baked, this dish is often associated with fat people, but it was started by the first Duke of Wellington, Arthur Wellesley. I bet you thought his last name was Wellington. Guess what? It's Wellesley. Ha!
The first beef Wellington created for a celebration commemorating his defeat of Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo, after which everyone died of diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol.
Who's here? Familiar with... Wow. What a cavernous quickfire room we have. I can hear my own voice. Okay, let's do it together. Who here? Oh, I guess my echo went away. Who here is familiar with beef Wellington? I guess they installed some padding. Who here is familiar?
Who here is familiar?
There it is.
Who is it?
Who here is familiar?
Who's familiar
Who's
with
familiar
it?
with beef
Wait
Wellington?
a minute. Well,
Wait
Wellington.
a minute.
That's not a
beef Wellington.
Exact copy. Oh, damn it. There's another one of you. Oh my God, there's two gel mats I'm not standing on.
The world's been turned upside down. I'd like to thank the Academy for this Oscar. Anyway, who here is familiar with beef Wellington?
Wellington. Wait.
Now, who here is familiar with beef Wellington and has thought about beef Wellington in Paris?
In Paris. Oh, not you, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah.
You only have an American perspective. That's
Sarah, it's like you've got American pity, but in a cave.
Wow, they do say you don't quite understand beef Wellington until you've walked along the shores of the Seine. That's a river, Sarah. It's where you'd wash your quilts.
So today we're celebrating Beef Wellington, or as I like to call Gail, Beef Wellington. Now, anyone have experience? And Ali's like, well, we learned about it in school, but that was 10 years ago. And she's like, well, we're going to have a battle of our own. We just had a challenge about water, and now we're going to base a challenge on Waterloo. Get it? So
Oh,
this one's
yeah.
more of a bathroom challenge about Beef Wellington.
How much Wellington can we feed Gail Simmons before she runs off to the toilet?
True. This is our one challenge where we all get to gel out for a night and eat 3 Beef Wellingtons each.
Yes, we're looking for not 1, not 2, but 3 beef Wellingtons, or I should say 3 regular Wellingtons, also known as Gail's breakfast.
So we're going to have a seafood, a meat, and a dessert Wellington. You'll be cooking for us, the judges, Gail the dum-dum, and Kirk Westaway, not Cameron. Thank God, although I do want to see how those Christian movies turned out because I've never read the Bible, as well as 25 diners who will all be voting. We'll take the poor people's votes into account too. At least we'll pretend to, just like we do in America.
We're going to take the poor people's votes and wrap those in puff pastry and feed those to Gail.
Gail's actually going to get the opportunity to eat the popular vote.
Depending on the key that Gail burps in, we'll know who wins.
Whoever wins the popular vote will be wrapped in phyllo dough and eaten by Gail. Sorry, Hillary Clinton.
To serve 25 diners Wellington is difficult, but for Gail to eat 25 diners worth of Wellington is very easy for her.
It's priceless, am I right? So
remember, MasterCard was a sponsor. MasterCard, be sure to apply for your Finnish MasterCard. Get points on every bottle of Finnish that you buy.
So Tom's like, diners doing, serving all the diners is difficult, but also serving the diners 3 Beef Wellingtons? No way am I going to be able to do that.
Wow, that was really impassioned, Tom. Thank you so much. Okay, well, that's a lot of work for one person to do alone, right? So chefs, please draw knives and then stab each other, and whoever's standing will just win this challenge.
So your Wellingtons don't need to be traditional teams of 2. It's the final team challenge of the season, and it's important because it's what Gail basically is going to do after this challenge. Double elimination.
Tomorrow.
Bring in a double.
Tomorrow.
Bring in a double wide loo for Gail. Because it's going to be a double elimination after this one.
Tomorrow, you'll have 3 hours to prep and cook in Gail's own private bathroom, the tobacco dock.
Why are we still recording? We should.
I don't know.
Quit.
We are so offensive. I just feel so bad for the people who did not hear our warning at the top of the season.
I think at the beginning of these, we need to start putting some kind of warning. Like, we need to record some kind of warning, like, this relationship between Gail and Padma is all made up. No Gales were harmed at the beginning of this video or something.
We
like
love
that.
Gail, and we do not think that she is some crazy monster. And we actually don't even think Padma believes that. We just like to think that Padma thinks that.
We literally just love making shit up. Okay. We love being completely evil to people who don't deserve it once a week. Okay. It's our hobby.
Yeah. This is all fake, guys. So Buddha's like, I learned Wellingtons working at Gordon Ramsay. He would throw them at my face. I've probably done 30 Wellingtons in my career. Which is not surprising.
One time he wrapped my head in puff pastry and said, "What is this?" And I had to say, "An idiot Wellington."
So for this challenge, I'm going to propose making a Wellington in the shape of Gordon Ramsay's head. I've got a mold.
We're going to make one in the shape of Gordon Ramsay's head and another in the shape of a donkey.
Literally, when I used to watch Hell's Kitchen, I felt like every episode was them having to make beef Wellington. That's like, when I think of beef Wellington, I think of that stupid show.
I think of dinner theater. Oh my God. It's like I've had so much beef Wellington for free. It's not even good free, got to tell you. So, Buddha and Gabri are a team, and Ali and Tom are a team, and we hear them planning. So Buddha's telling Gabri, "Let's do seafood. For that, we're going to do salmon." And then we cut to Tom going, "Salmon is nice. We should do salmon." And then cut back to Buddha going, "And then we'll do beef." And then we cut back to Tom going, "Beef, definitely beef. Duck salad, spinach and crepe."
Yeah. And then Amar and Sarah want to like change it up and everything. And you know, they're just gonna like do some of the big flavors, and they want to do like a tres leche apple pie Wellington. And she's like, I think our team's gonna do really well. You know why? Because I was thinking, so I got this great old rubber boot, and I thought if I just slice it up, I think that'd be a real nice new touch on like doing Wellington. Just like wrap a leather boot up in puff pastry and a little bit of Elmer's glue around it. Beautiful.
So then Tom is going to do some kind of apple dessert, some kind of apple whatever Wellington. And Sarah's going to do the tres leche with an apple. So here we go, head to head. And Buddha and okay, so now we go to where they're driving and we see what they're all making. So Buddha and Gabri, for their seafood, they're going to do salmon, meat, beef, dessert, peach. And then Sarah Amar are going to do seafood, tuna and shrimp, meat, lamb, dessert, apple pie, tres leches.
And Ali and Tom are going to do for their seafood salmon and prawns, and their meat they're going to do beef and dessert apple. So yeah, and Ali is talking about.
I wrote in this section, Ali and Tom drive, they're losing. That's what I wrote. And the reason I got that impression is because they look so not only stressed out, but really sad and defeated, I thought, especially Tom. Like Tom is at the end of his fucking rope at this point.
Yeah. See, I at this point started to get worried that Sarah and Amar were going to go home because it was the old classic Ali saying like, I'm worried. If you're not worried, then something's wrong. And it cuts to like Sarah being like, well, they're real worried. I don't know. A lot of people are worried right now. I don't know what that's all about. So it's like, oh, that's not good.
Oh, yeah.
Although to counterbalance that, Ali did the thing where he said, oh, it would be devastating to go home. I'm this close, which is usually what they do when they are about to axe someone.
Yeah. I don't know. They're tricky because they know all of our tells. They know their tells that we've all caught on to, right? So it's because then Buddha has a phone call of death at the beginning, which they haven't followed that for years, but I still think
we still hold on to it. And there's also a bunch of other red herrings because they go to Whole Foods and a bunch of them buy a lot of store made puff pastry. So I thought this was definitely going to be Tom later on. So this pastry, did you make this pastry? You didn't make this pastry? This store bought? I mean, you got 3 hours. You got to make pastry. I did not make pastry. But that was never an issue.
Yeah, it was not an issue. Sorry, I just hit the mic again. I'm sorry for whoever I'm giving a headache to. It's new things. I'm trying new things today. So, let's see. So basically, Amar's like all friends with the meat guys. You know, he's like, "Hey, it's me again, guys," and they all like fist bump. And he's like, "Morocco, am I right? We're gonna go there one day, am I right? All of us, Whole Foods in Morocco. I'm in."
Yeah, and then like Tom goes by Sarah and he goes, have you seen the marzipan? And she's like, maxi pads. I think I go to the ladies' eye. He's like, marzipan. What
are you saying marzipan? Because I'm not above giving marzipan a love squeeze with my baby maker either. All right, but only on birthdays and anniversaries, though. Got it?
He's talking about my friend Marcy because she got a pan. If you need Marcy's pan, I can get that for you. I'll just tell them to FedEx it back over next time I send my baby milk across the sea.
So Gabri forgets something and they're checking out and they've only got like 45 seconds. So he has to run. And this is like a multi-level Whole Foods, right? So he's like running everywhere and he makes it back and they all cheer. And Amar's like, oh my God, the flying cat.
I wonder if it's one of those Whole Foods where you have to send your cart up its own private escalator. And then you get to the top of your escalator and you're like, is it going to come through? You're like, is it going to make it? You're like, what's going to happen inside that dark corridor where you can't see my cart? I just know it's supposed to come back. And then it finally comes back. And you're like reunited with your cart.
It's going through. It's being like, there's like some creepy guy with a trench coat just opening it as it comes up the stairs.
It's like it's like comes back traumatized. Like, you don't want to know what I saw.
People are like throwing bricks at it. As
it went to the Black Lodge.
Yeah, a lot of bad things happen. So now we go to the Kimpton, and Ali is shirtless. Wow.
Yeah. I know. Why
Wow.
didn't we get to see more of that? Why do
Very
we show
handsome
us more?
guy, but geez, I wasn't expecting that. Good Lord. I could stay in this Kimpton all day.
I know. I had a feeling
Eesh.
he had a good body, but I felt like it was gonna be it was better than I was expecting. So Sarah is FaceTiming with Kelsey, who won Top Chef Kentucky, and she's saying that she's like the only girl left in the competition, and Kelsey's like, "Yay!" And Sarah's talking about how like Kelsey's like her oldest culinary friend, etc. And like whenever she needs a boost of confidence, Kelsey is there for her. So basically, this is
And
Sarah's
Kelsey's like,
circle of
and
death.
whenever I need a blanket, guess who I don't call? Okay. But I love you, Sarah. Good luck to you. You're going to do so great.
You're so great. Maybe you can win this thing also someday. But until then, I guess it's just me out of the two of us. Okay,
Can't
bye.
wait till we're on equal footing.
That should happen sometime soon. So now it's time to now they go off to the tobacco docks and everything. And Gabri's saying that he's actually in his comfort zone because he was actually French trained, classically French trained. So he's gonna do like a lot of the sauces and stuff for their Wellingtons.
Well, he's also comfortable bottoming in this situation. Like he's comfortable saying like Buddha's clearly the best right now. And so I think he's okay with just being bossed around. He's not going to try and like overdo it with Buddha. He's like, Buddha's in charge of the Wellingtons. I'm doing the sauces, the garnishes, pretty much everything else. And Buddha's probably going to boss me around the whole time. And I'm going to say, yes, chef. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
So, and then Tom and Ali are working. Ali's doing like a cauliflower puree, and everyone's just like working. I mean, I don't know what to add to this. They're just like they're cooking.
Well, first sign of trouble is Buddha starts doing crepes because you're supposed to wrap the beef. Okay, you wrap the beef in
Duck cells
pate,
or
right?
pate, yeah.
And then you wrap that in a crepe, and the crepe holds in the moisture so it doesn't make the crust soggy while it's cooking. So I guess that's the traditional way.
Right.
So Buddha is making the
that until
crepes.
this.
I didn't either. So
That
Buddha
was
is
cool.
making the crepe and messes this up. So he's going to have to go without crepe. So it's like,
Yeah.
was the phone call of death for Buddha? Was it for Buddha?
Yeah, because he had that issue with the Ban Xiao earlier the street food challenge. Remember Jane Ju? Hi, I'm Jane Ju. You may remember me from Jane Ju Fast Casual Foods. But remember he was making those like thin eggs and he was struggling with that. So this is like his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Thin things in pans.
So Amar's like, oh my God, it's so crazy not being with you, Habibi. And Ali's like, yeah, it's not good not being with you, Papi. And Amar says, yeah, we're broken up. And Sarah goes, you're just seeing other people. He's like, we're in an open relationship, am I right? So then Tom is talking about overcooking and
Wellingtons.
Yeah,
the tricky part about the Wellington is literally overcooking the protein or undercooking the protein. And here comes the worst part. You have no idea until you open it up. And then it's too late. It's too late. Oh, mother. It's too late for me, mother.
And Amar's like, I made harissa for the lamb Wellington because Morocco, okay? And then on the side, we're doing a date puree with cumin, also from Morocco. God, you know what I'm going to... Hold on, let me write this on my to-do list. Go to Morocco.
And so since two of them are doing apple stuff for dessert, Sarah and Amar want to stand out. So they're going to use phyllo dough instead of puff pastry for their dessert Wellington. And then
interesting because they're also going to do a flat sponge cake and then roll it. They're going to roll that, and outside is going to be a puff pastry crust.
By the way, like at what point do things stop being a Wellington? I feel like they're like is everything that's just like wrapped in puff pastry and savory on the inside, is that a Wellington? Or does it have to be something that's on the inside that's wrapped with a coating of something and then has puff pastry around it? Is that what makes it a Wellington? Because there's a lot of things that are wrapped in puff pastry that are not Wellingtons, but it seems like they're now making everything a Wellington.
I don't know.
I feel like there's like some Wellington overreach on this episode.
But do you think I think I've had a salmon Wellington before. That sounds familiar. I feel like I've had that.
Well, my mom gave me a Julia Child cookbook, And she said she like
Ooh.
highlighted. Yes, she gave it to me like 10 years ago, and she highlighted a recipe called Kulyabak, I believe. That is like the salmon Wellington. It's basically salmon wrapped with duxelle, and there's like crepes wrapped around it. And my mom said she would make it for very special dinner parties because it was always a huge hit. And so my question is that a Wellington? Is that a pun? Is that a
Is
Wellington?
that
Or
a
is that a
Wellington?
Kulyabak or whatever it's called?
I don't know. I'm too stupid on
Really
this
deep
one.
philosophical questions coming
No,
out of
I
this
just wish I
episode.
could answer it because I really don't know. I've seen beef Wellington, I've seen salmon Wellington, and I think that's all, but I'm not a fan of Wellington. So, I mean, you'd think I would be really, but I like the
Hmm.
bread from, I like the outside of it, but I just don't know that much about it.
You know,
So,
by the way, the Kulyabak is filled with like a salmon mousse, I think. So that's I don't
oh,
know.
I
You
I
don't like
love
salmon mousse?
salmon. I love
I like
salmon. I
salmon
hate
mousse.
salmon mousse. There's
I like
certain
it.
things.
It's very 80s.
Oh, I just it's too fishy. I like just salmon. Can I just get a grilled salmon? Also, guess what I don't like? Lox. It's like tuna. I love tuna steak cooked. I do
You don't
not
like
like
lox.
ahi. Nope. I don't like
Oh,
slimy. I don't
ahi.
like
Oh, ahi is different than lox.
I
You
know,
don't like
but it's
lox or
well, it's
ahi?
similar that it's the raw version of the fish.
You know
I
what?
guess
I
what
have
I'm
to say
saying.
ahi, like seared ahi tuna is like nothing special to me because I don't think that tuna actually has a lot of flavor, and I don't think that like seared tuna is like such an exciting flavor. And it's like it's not as sushi-y as like a tuna tartar. You just like, I don't know, it's like it's fine. I'll have a seared ahi tuna salad if need be, but like I don't think it's special.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not a fan. So, but I do
Oh,
love a tuna steak. So no one get offended. I hope there's
really?
no tunas listening to this who
I
are
just feel like tuna
offended.
steaks are so blah.
They are, but they're steaky. They're thick and
Yeah.
meaty. You know, it's not a
I
wussy
haven't had one
fish. I
for a
mean, a
while.
tuna steak is a real fucking, beast
It
of a
is.
fish.
I know. I just feel, you know what it is? It's probably nothing wrong with the tuna itself. I think that we just need more interesting preparations of it.
Just tons of butter and salt. That's fine. Okay, so also I'm a pescatarian, so to me, it's like if I'm in like a steaky kind of a mood, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll shut up now. So then we go to Buddha doing exactly what he needs to be doing, working with Gabri. And it's not that Gabri is an idiot, he seems to be a really talented chef, but he's also very fast and takes direction really well. So Buddha's like, all right, I'm going to wrap this in salmon. I'm going to wrap this salmon in seaweed, which is a brilliant idea. Move faster, Gabri. And he's like, okay, yes, chef. He's like, and these peaches are hard. What are you doing about that? He's like, I don't know. They're so hard. He goes, cut them in half and do them from there. And he's like, yes, chef.
It's like the peaches is hard. It's hard to peel those peaches. So also some of them are one thing that I learned about Wellington here is that like when you make the inside stuff, the roll, you want to get it into the fridge as soon as possible because once you wrap it in puff pastry, like if it's too warm, it's gonna melt the puff pastry. So that was really cool. So they're all doing that stuff. And then in come Tom and Kirk Westaway to do the old let's terrify the chefs bit. So they walk in.
Well, here's another
Chefs.
moment. Here's another moment where I knew that Tom and Ali were going home because we see them talking about xanthan gum and they're
Yeah.
putting it in a cauliflower puree. And that just sounds you should be sent home right now. I know there's not even any judges here. You should go home for that. Period.
Xanthan
Okay.
gum is not good news on Top Chef. Like why it should not be in the mix there.
Agreed.
So they go Tom and Kirk go up to Amara and Sarah first, and Kirk's like, so between the tuna and the pastry, do you have any sort of lining? And Amara's like, no, we got no lining. And Sarah's like, yeah, we got a seafoods. Actually, there's a little bit of a Paducah quilt in there. You're not gonna really taste it. It's just gonna keep it all together. But
It's gonna
you know.
taste like sperm, basically. So, and Tom's like, well, first of all, I'd like to point out, did anyone notice I'm in a turtleneck? Thanks, I would appreciate that. Okay, and two, you're wrapping tuna with sausage and then pastry, like there's nothing in between that. And she's like, is that a bad idea? He goes, was this turtleneck a bad idea? She's like, oh my God, he has a way of asking questions that just confuse you.
You know, I wore this turtleneck to sort of inspire my son. I was like, maybe if I wear something that makes him think of Jobs, like Steve Jobs, he'll finally drop being a mixologist. I don't know. Trying any tactic at this point.
So she's like, yeah, Tom doesn't give you advice, but he asks questions in a way that makes you feel like a fucking idiot, and you know you're doing something wrong. So Sarah goes, should we make a crepe? And Mars like, on it. I'm already making it. So then we
Yep.
go to Tom and Ali, and Ali is telling him about the apple Wellington, and he's like, would you like to taste my custard with the orange blossom? And Kirk's like, well, now listen, orange blossom, what a nice touch that is. I love how it touches my tongue, that orange blossom.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like your grandma's closet. Not that I know your grandma's closet tastes like. It's not like I've been to her house and eaten a shawl out of her closet, but if I did, I imagine it would sort of taste like orange blossom, but not like this one. Anyway, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah,
now.
I really talked myself in a kind of an awkward situation there. So
Yeah, really
I'm gonna just go ahead.
undermining the authority of this turtleneck right now.
If I was in your grandma's closet, I can guarantee pretty much I'd be wearing this turtleneck. So
yeah, that's where I got it from.
I'm walking away slowly. Bye. All right. Bye.
So now Gabri, they go look at Gabri and he's making a Robuchon potato puree. And Tom's like, so he needs melted butter. Does he melt the butter in the Robuchon potato puree? Huh? It's melted butter, huh? He's like, yes, chef. He goes, okay. Let me repeat. I said, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's like this warning. It's like Tom when a train is about to run over like the heroin that has been tied down to the train tracks. Tom's just standing on the side going, oh, okay.
He's like when the
train's like
in the lobby of the theater.
A stop. It's like, okay.
Okay. All right, your choice. You want to stay in the lobby of the theater? Go ahead. I'll dim the lights. You might miss the show. So, so anyway, he's clearly does not approve of this butter situation.
Also, Tom, you know what, Tom, I have to say, Tom's a professional. I'm not, okay? But Tom comes up with these weird things, especially in this episode where he just decides to be pissed off about something, and it makes no sense. Whipped potatoes don't have butter? Really? Since when? Could I have a potato approach the stand, please? Because I don't believe this for 1 second.
Gail, just stay in your seat. He's just making
not you, Gail. A literal potato.
Well,
not a
I wonder if the
potato.
I wonder if the Robuchon potatoes already have butter in them. You know, I'm gonna look.
Robuchon are just whipped potatoes, aren't they? Aren't they whipped mashed potatoes?
Boil the potatoes until they're tender.
Mm-hmm.
I've never made them. You made them?
That's just what they look like. I mean, what is it? Read it to me.
Okay,
Be my Audible. Who's a great
sponsor. From Time
Get
Magazine.
Audible, everyone.
Okay. Wow. Time Magazine has a whole inside scoop on how to make. Oh, they put it on a YouTube video. Well, that's not going to be helpful. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're just like, I think they're just basically like super mashed, like in a pure, like through a food mill or something like that. That's super soft.
Yes, that's like
what you said.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like to me, like whipped potatoes, basically. In which case, I say butter. Butter is your friend.
Butter.
But I don't know. I'm not French. So then, they keep going through all this stuff: the salmon, the blah blah blah. Basically, by chefs. Okay, and when they leave Buddha Station, Gabriel's like, "Bye, you're handsome." And they keep leaving.
Yeah, because Kirk Westaway is handsome. He looks like Finn from Love Island season 6. If you know, I'll put up a picture.
I don't. So then the judges are talking amongst themselves, and Tom is like, well, the first team, Mar and Sarah. And Kirk's like, Team America, because they joked that they were Team America. And Tom's like, I didn't see them rapping yet. So hopefully they'll make it, because you know what? One thing I never thought that I would need to see, but I'm actually needing to see right now is Sarah rapping. Could you imagine? I don't think I need that. Do people rap with banjos?
She could be the next Eminem, like Lady Eminem, but just rapping about, like, I don't know, harmonicas and riding the rails.
Crusty blankets, what rhymes with crusty blankets? I don't know, but I would know if I heard her rap.
So then they start talking about Ali and Tom, and Kirk's like, well, they've got good ingredients and classic flavors. And I loved the way that cauliflower puree seemed to be alive. Was that actual flubber they were using?
Then they talk about Buddha and Gabri, and you know what I like to see? Buddha rolling. Buddha's rolling already, and that's what I like to see. Okay, you don't want to get to a party and see someone just starting to roll. That needs to happen before the party. You know, I learned
Yeah.
that from my son, who's a good for nothing pothead addict, and that's why he's nothing right now in life. So anyway,
Yeah.
what were we talking about?
I'm just impressed with Buddha rolling already. I mean, I already left a big job down in the city, working 9 to 5 for the whatever
For the
he's doing.
man.
Pumping
I was
tane.
working for the
Pumping
man.
he's
I was
pumping
working for the
tane
man
in New
every night and day.
Orleans. Yeah.
I never lost a minute of sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. So wow.
Yeah.
Whoa, am I
Big
Sarah? Hey Sarah, I'm rapping. Sarah.
Big Wellington, keep on rolling.
So Kirk's like, oh yes, they're very switched on. I think one of them pinched my buttocks actually. Does that happen? Still got it, Kirk. So then
I got a little bit of I got a patch of melted butter on my rear end here. Don't understand where that came from.
I'll tell you where butter doesn't go. Rear ends. Someone's paying for that later. I'm really mad about butter. Really, really mad about butter today. So Tom G is wrapping one of his, and they've got a style that's got holes in the crust.
Yeah.
And like lava holes or something. And he's like, I feel like this is like on one of those Tomb Raider movies where she's running all over the place and about to fall into the lava. And it really does look like a Tomb Raider set. Good call.
Yeah, that's a great film starring my dear friend Angelina Jolie. Tomb Raider is also what Gail calls herself because naturally her fridge is called the Tomb.
So Buddha's designs are just so pretty. I mean, they're gorgeous. He's done all this different artwork on all of the crusts, and I mean, he's just so good. Like, I can't. Like, it seems unfair. So then Tom moves on to his apple, and he tried it, and he says he thinks it's really good. So everybody's got confidence today, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then Gail ruins it by wearing a leather skirt and a flower top. Like, where are you right now? What movie are you in right now, Gail?
It was this blue top with like all these tons of little like flowers on it, floral, like a tight, small floral pattern on the blue, and it was a lot. So the judges arrive, and Padma takes off her jacket, and this felt like a passive aggressive moment towards her wardrobe lady. It kind of felt like she takes off her like little fur vest, and she goes, "Wow, nice and toasty," just like I told Amanda it would be before she insisted I wear this stupid thing.
I told her Ali Wong's not here. We don't have to wear the matching jackets. Anyway, Gail's like, have you guys eaten Wellingtons? And Padma's like, have multiple old men left me their fortunes after I sent them pictures of me eating a hamburger in a bikini? Gail's like, yes. I forgot what we were talking about. Anyway, anyone more important than Gail have something to say?
Kirk is like, it's really a complete dish. In the UK, it's great on Sunday. Oh, wow, that's great. You know what else apparently is great on Sunday in the UK? Not brushing your teeth.
So when you did your walkthrough, Kirk, who gailed? It's like, I'm sorry, struggled. Oh, well, they were all behind. They were behind. And Kirk's like, yeah, they had to work extra hard to support each other. And Gail's like, yeah, that's where the tension lies, right? When people have to find support. That's why Podman's all stressed out all the time. Really hard for Podman to figure that one out. Am I right, guys? Ew, burn, Gail. Wow.
Wow,
burn.
Gail. It's funny because I always thought the tension lied in your belt. Poor thing. Holding on for dear life.
I'll tell you, no one's carried more weight on a team than Gail and Gail.
5 minutes, moment of truth. So everyone's plating and everything. And Sarah's sort of thinking like, oh, should we Sarah feels like they should put the Wellington in a little bit longer, but Amar's like, no, it's ready. No, let it rest. Let it rest. Let it rest.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I don't know that they would have had enough time to like take it from raw to cooked anyway, and
that's true
amount of time, but it's
maybe from raw to rare. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I don't know how much time it was, so who knows? But they're all seeing their meats for the first time as they slice, and so Buddha's like, the fact that this fish is levitating, stunning art.
Yeah. So modesty really, really coming through with him. So now they are presenting, and Amar's like, so we have tuna and seafood Wellington with asparagus puree and sauce American. Sauce American, is that like something you might find in Gail's fridge, like Velveeta and mayo puree together and put on a ho-ho?
Gail makes that when she falls asleep on the airplane with her mouth open.
They wouldn't let her get on United anymore. So Ali makes salmon Wellington with leeks, and duxelles and charred leeks and cauliflower puree. And then Gabri makes presents the salmon Wellington with shrimp pate and beurre blanc and salmon caviar and the robuchon potato puree. The salmon caviar looks, this salmon Wellington, I just wanted to pull it through the TV and eat it.
And then Buddha and Gabri, Kirk love their sauce. He's like, bang on. So I was like, yeah, the Wellington's good. The potato puree, it's too rich. It's too rich. You don't use butter. You know why? Look at this. It's too greasy. You see butter on the plate. I do not like seeing butter on the plate. Who makes chefs make 3 Wellingtons and then complains that they're too greasy? The shit is brushed in butter. Come on.
Gail's like, yeah, these potatoes, they're sort of like butter leaching out of it. Oh, like your hairbrush, Gail, right?
Takes a better sweater to know a better sweater. Am I right, Gail?
So they think that, you know what, Tom and Ali's, it looks great. I mean, salmon was nicely cooked. It's a little under seasoned though. A little under seasoned. It's just not quite there. Sort of like my son's ideas of what his future will be. Not quite there.
He's like, even the yogurt's under seasoned. And Gail's like, that is cauliflower, which case in point, I guess. Am I right, guys? My bod was like,
cauliflower.
I find the texture weird. It's like Gail when she smiles. Gummy.
Wow, Tom, I can't believe you thought cauliflower was yogurt. How embarrassing for you. You're supposed to be our head judge, for crying out loud. Hold on, let me call up my dear friend. Hi, Angela. Yes, Angela Merkel. It's your dear friend. I almost said Ali Wong. Just kidding. It's Padma, someone slightly more famous. Anyway, Tom thought cauliflower was yogurt. Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll let you get back to your bubble bath. Bye.
Well, Sarah and Amal's was adventurous. Tom's like, yeah, they chose something difficult, but tuna doesn't have fat, and so to wrap it like this and trust that it's going to have enough fat, I mean, that's really something. It's like one of Gail's bathing suits. Just keep trusting. Am I right? I liked the crepe. It gave it beautiful color. I love the color green in the crepe.
Gail's like, I think it was well constructed, like Padma's face, and I feel like there's competing flavors. Hey, Gail. Nice try. It's not as good when it comes from you.
The sauce American and the tuna really aren't best friends. And Padman's like, I was really expecting at least one Gail, but I'm happy to say, knock on Kirk's Woody, not yet. Sorry, Kirk. He's like, wow, ow. I'm getting a lot of sexual harassment today.
Yeah, I mean, so far everything's going great. Well, except for Gail's dress. Bless her heart.
Too late now.
So now, yeah, this is where Sarah and Amar realize their lamb is under. And in fact, some of them are actually even raw. And Sarah's like, oh, I should have listened to my gut and kept it in the oven, wrapped it in a semen stain quilt, and then taken an axe to it like my dad to a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I like the design, Sarah. And she's like, well, all right, listen, here's what you do. Put my sauce right on top. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
I love that. Just put it on. Don't even look at the lamb. It gets very offended. Don't look at the lamb in the eye. Just put sauce on it. Oh, look, it's a very well cooked, properly cooked lamb. And you would be able to tell, but unfortunately, there's sauce on top of it. Anyway, enjoy.
And it's a shame because what they did really is cool. So they did a harissa rubbed lamb Wellington, but then they're coating on it, instead of it being pate or whatever, it's lamb shank. It's like a stewed lamb shank that is minced and wrapped around.
Lamb on lamb.
Yeah, I thought it was so smart. And Swiss chard. So then Ali is like, yeah, ours is beef with onion puree, roasted carrots, and a red wine jus. And Gabri presents dry aged beef with truffle demi-glace, pickled beetroot, and foie.
Yeah. So they like the beef. The cooking on Ali and Tom's is perfect, but it's low on seasoning. And Tom's like, you know what? they got too much mushroom XL, and the steam forced the pastry away from the beef. Sort of like, I don't know, maybe the steam of my famous, enviable career maybe pushed away my son and sent him to mixology. And well, I wanted to hold him close to me like a puff pastry around beef. Maybe it was me who sent him down that path after all.
And Tom says that Buddha and Gabri's was far superior out of the beefs, and he loved the basket weave. And Padman goes, pickled beets, yum. So then
I was drinking coffee and almost numbed it.
Oh, sorry. So Sarah and Amars, they find interesting because they did, the braised lamb around the lamb. And Gail's like, wow, North African flavors. Does anyone know if Amar's been to Morocco? Have we figured that out yet?
It feels like there's a Moroccan influence. Should we get him out here and ask if he's ever been there? I'm sure he hasn't. He probably hasn't.
And Padman's like, that was the most creative of all of the Wellingtons. And Gail's like, well, my only issue, and it is a real issue. High heels? No. Pattern dresses? No.
Did Dress Barn go out of business?
Anti-underarms? No. It was that
Filene's basement isn't actually a basement.
It's that lamb loin is under, and it eats under. It's the most important part. That was the most important part, was getting the meat to the proper temperature.
Yeah, if you don't want your lamb loin to be under, stop sitting on it.
So then Tom's like, time for the pie. So now they're sending out their desserts. And Buddha's like, Capri and I work as a very good team. Cut to Buddha going, good, strain it now. And he's like, yes, chef.
Now remove the peach from the mold of my wife. So so they're all happy with their desserts. And Padman's like, well, chefs, we made it through 3 rounds of Wellington, so you should feel good about that. But you're not famous, so you should feel bad about that.
Unfortunately, you're all still poor. Gail. He was like, it's not my line right now. I know, I just wanted to point at you after I broke bad news to poor people. All right, Sarah, what did you make today? And she's like, I made a play on apple pie tres leches with spiced creme anglaise, but we actually used liquid nitrogen to freeze it. Oh, interesting. I've been suggesting to Gail try that to fix it. All right, that's enough of that. Okay. Enough.
And then Ali and Tom made roasted apple and the chestnut duxelle and the apple butter sauce with vanilla butter sauce. And Buddha made peach melba and almond frangipan with raspberry sorbet and tonka bean custard. Tonka beans, big presence this season on Top Chef. A lot of tonka beans.
Yeah.
Did they say that tonka beans are not allowed in the US? Did I read that? Tonka beans are illegal.
I don't know. Are they?
I think they're illegal. Let me look.
I think they're illegal.
No, tonka beans. Tonka beans have been illegal in the United States since 1954. Just sort of like all of Gail's patterns. She's not allowed to wear them in the mainland.
Why are they illegal?
I don't know, to be honest. It's high coumarin content may be lethal in high doses and may cause liver disease and cancer. Wow, thanks, chefs. Really appreciate you serving us tonka beans all season long.
Sounds delicious. Wow, deadly peach melba. Sounds great, Buddha. Thanks. This round is tough. They're just so good. And Kirk is like, Ollie and Tom's is home cooked, rustic, delicious. And pastry was fantastic, says Gail. And Padma moves on to Sarah and Amar, and they think it's very creative with the crispy phyllo and the frozen drops of creme anglaise. And Tom goes, yeah, but you know what? I don't know if this really checks the box as a bartender. I mean, Wellington, using phyllo, that's a cop-out. No, it's not a fucking cop-out. That's not fair. He doesn't like that they're using store-bought phyllo. Is that the problem? Or is it that it's a phyllo in general? What do you think?
Yeah, I think, I can't tell, but he doesn't like it.
I guess you don't use phyllo for a Wellington. At first, I took this as a store-bought diss, but now I realize it might just be a phyllo diss, in which I take back my anger at Tom.
Well, I was kind of charmed that they used phyllo pastry instead of as a sponge instead of just the crust. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was imaginative. as opposed to, I don't know, Gail's top.
Yeah, because for two things, I don't know that there is such a thing as a dessert Wellington, as you pointed out. I think they're stretching that. So why couldn't it use phyllo? Also, I think that the fact that they use sponge and phyllo together to create that texture, like
It's really cool.
I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's super creative. And Tom just like kind of turns his nose up at it. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck off, person who doesn't like butter in their potatoes. Who are
Yeah.
you?
So then it cuts to Sarah, like now that she's done, she's eating cheese in the kitchen. She's like, "Ah, this is some North Ireland cheese. Let me tell you something. Just when I get to France, I'm just gonna stay in my hotel room and just eat this stuff." Oh wow, what was that, Sarah? Something about going to France? Well, I think the decision's already made. We don't even have to deliberate anymore.
You're dead. So then Padma's like, Buddha, Gabby, I really loved it. The construction was so unlike anything Gail has ever worn. It was just beautiful. And the tech work showed even more creativity. And Gail loved it too. Sorry, I don't know what I wrote there.
Sorry, I have Wellington brain. I have to apologize.
How are these people still awake
How
after
are there not
eating 9
defibrillators?
Wellingtons?
So now they're like, Padma, since there are people voting, which I almost forgot about, Padma's like, let's walk around and see what the poors think. Okay.
Bring
Hello,
your
good people.
arms. Bring your
Hi.
arms.
I'm going to speak slowly so that way you can hear. I know most of you understand rich, but for those who don't understand, we do have a translator here. Gail, can you speak some poor for them?
Hi, everyone. Told you. Oh my God, even the poor people are throwing alms at Gail. All right, I went too far there, but you get the point, everybody. I'm rich and you're not. What did you think of poor people food by poor people? What did you think of that? And one tattletale's like, well, my lamb was raw. Fuck off, tattletale. You're lucky
I
you even got to
know.
sit in here.
Oh, but that probably didn't stop you anyway, what with your coyote teeth, right? I bet you love the challenge.
Listen, if you can sharpen your own pencils with your teeth, you should be able to have a little rare lamb.
I guess it does work out well that you do work at a pencil shop, huh?
So one of the guys is like, oh, it was quite cheeky using sponge, on that dessert. And it was just right up to the side of the line. It almost being a Wellington. I think it counts. And then one of the other guys is like, I don't envy you with your jobs. Badman's like, oh, I don't envy you. Back to the chimney sweep, are you?
Thank you all for being here and pretending that you all have pallets. Now, I'm sure there's some empty factory that wants you all back, so
I'd
Godspeed.
like you to all enjoy your dinner that you're going to have tonight back at the McDonald's or whatever they call it here. It's also called McDonald's here. Isn't that sad? Wow, you're
We do
even
have
too poor to buy your own name for McDonald's.
we do have some leftover kippers from last week, so please be sure to pick up some on your way out.
Before Gail uses them all as an ice cream topping again. I had to tell her, Gail, it's not a yogurt planet.
We've arranged rowboats outside the tobacco docks for you to get in, and they'll just take you somewhere. Can't guarantee much after that.
Dun 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 dun. Judges table. I'm so nervous how this is gonna go because I love
Same.
pretty much everybody left.
But like
But I'm
obviously
guessing it's Tom and Ali, but I'm worried it's gonna be Sarah and what's his buns of
same.
Mar. Oh,
I know. And we've like literally all our favorites have been going away every week.
I
So
know, and I love Sarah.
the chefs are in the stew room, and Buddha's like, this was a tough challenge, and you know what? I think a lot of the Top Chef greats would have struggled with this one as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm sort of better than the Top Chef greats. I don't know. I'm just a modest person.
Well, Wellings are something hard to do well. And that's just the truth about it. So is finishing college. But they all look fantastic. And unlike anybody that I've raised, you should all be very, very proud. So
Yeah.
hope you are. Padma? And she's like,
Well,
well, we did have our favorite team of poor people. Kirk, you have the honor. And he's like, The team that did the best job of putting together the best selection of dishes from beginning to end is going to be Buddha and Gabri. And I was like, come on. I mean, even though I could see how brilliant these dishes all were, I was still like, Buddha, come on, every
I know, but he's
time.
so good. He's so good. I was like, Buddha, that's the biggest smile I've seen all season. God, it's such great to see that view of your baby teeth.
Hey, Buddha, could you call your wife again to give her the good news and have her hold her phone down by her ribcage again so Gail can feel better about her presence on FaceTime? That would be fun.
What a great day for you, Buddha. You made 3 amazing Wellingtons and you have a truckload of finished detergent out back. Wow, I only wish I could be you. Not.
So they loved the beautifully plated Wellingtons. The crusts were lovely. And Tom's like, did you use a thermometer on your Wellingtons to check the heat? And Buddha goes, I use the cake tester, the memory of touch. He holds up his fingers and he's like, I do it all with this.
Was it that he like, I was confused. We saw him do it. Did he like put the cake tester in it and then he touched the cake tester so he could feel how hot the cake tester got? Like what was that all about?
Oh, I thought he was saying his cake tester was his finger.
Oh, because then Tom tapped his chin. I didn't understand. I really didn't understand what was happening here. It was like
I
secret
thought
chef
he
code.
meant, I don't remember what he used. And, listeners tell us, leave in the comments below, like and subscribe what you think this was. But I think he was saying, I use the old cake tester on my fingers. You know how you touch things to see how firm
Right.
they are, which is
I was
also
also
what
well,
you do
maybe
with
also
meat. So
I was gonna say maybe the resistance of a cake tester going in, you could sort of sense how done it was.
oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
So
But at that point, like, why not just do a thermometer?
yeah. And Gail's like, well, I love them all. Yeah, she says the same thing to the candy aisle. And listen, the other poor people agreed with this poor person. Your team got the most votes. Congratulations again. Now step to the side, winning but still poor people. Yellow and red team, you're the grossest and most disgusting, and you're all going to be sleeping in tent cities the rest of your life.
Well, there was some stunning food today. None of you made it. And it wasn't even around this competition. It was just somewhere else in the world. Maybe at Gagan's restaurant. Red team, I thought about your seafood Wellington and I thought that was beautiful. But the sauce American, I don't know. It just seems so Gail unnecessary.
Agree, it really overwhelmed the tuna. You haven't seen an overwhelmed tuna, and you see a can with Gale walking towards it. I've never seen a can of tuna clatter away so quickly.
It's like what I said when I watched Gail cuddle up at night with a giant side of tuna in her arms. You're really overwhelming it.
It's a new show on Discovery Plus. Gail visits tuna. It's called Overwhelmed Tuna.
Talk about school's out for summer. That's Gail interrupting a bunch of tuna.
So stupid. So Padma's like, Aline, Tom, how did the day go for you? People about to be eliminated, because that's what I ask eliminated people all the time.
How did you mess up? So Tom's like, well, this was the most challenging day of my career. Oh, wow. That sounds terrible. Making Wellingtons. Well, I guess that is hard knowing that they're just going to be going into the empty pit that is Gail's stomach. I don't know what I'm saying. Just continue on without me.
And Tom sees like, well, did you both taste the cauliflower when you tasted it? Was it seasoned? The cauliflower? Was it seasoned? Don't give me the wrong answer. Like, okay.
Yes, it was. Oh, okay. And you thought it was seasoned. Yeah. And Pam goes, well, we all felt it was under seasoned. Well, when I say we all, I mean all the famous people who are wealthy, whose voice you really need to pay attention to. We all felt it was under seasoned. So
it was like Gail. It was like if Gail was in an Olin Mills photo session, just full of gumminess and tackiness. So let's move on to the meat course. How did you decide to use lamb? How?
Wait. Before that.
Oh.
Wait, I have a question. I'm sorry. Because I feel like I want to be exacerbated about something. Or not exacerbated. What's the word? I want to be mad. I want to feel again. So, Ali, did you add anything to that cauliflower to make it taste like yogurt if you were someone who wore a fedora? And Ollie's like, well, it was pureed with oil and xanthan gum. Xanthan gum? What? He used xanthan gum.
She goes, it had a strange texture. She gets all mad. So then they move on to the lamb course and they start with Sarah. And she's like, well, we just, wanted to do something a little outside of Wellington, but still Wellington. And Gail goes, and I applaud that because it did stand out. And I'm being really nice to you because you undercooked the lamb, which is the most important part, which I said a million times. So this smile basically is saying to you right now, burnt, charred, rubbery egg.
I have a question. Since you two seem to be relatively dumb people, did you make your lamb with xanthan gum? Because that would be really a bridge too far.
So Kirk is like, yeah, it was a little bit under, and Amar's like, I wish we had 10 minutes more. Well, who the fuck doesn't? It's a timed show, sir. And Tom goes, one guest said basically it was like my son as a chef. They couldn't even cut it. So that was sad. And Rod was like, Aline, Tom, tell us about your beef Wellington, or as I like to call it, beef Wellington. Am I right? Am I right, guys?
So Kirk is like, that was very funny, Padma. So the beef, excuse me, I've suddenly turned German because the mention of Tom. The beef was rolled perfectly well, and the onion puree was a bit of an issue. It was a bit sticky and gummy, almost as if the poor people were French kissing and someone had gathered up the juices that fell out.
Yeah, it was very tacky, like most of Padma's comments here today. Oh, now let's move on to the sweets. So the decision of phyllo dough. Whose decision was that, Sarah?
Sarah's like, well, we were trying to be creative and imaginative. Oh, is that why your Wellingtons were in the shape of a banjo? I get it now.
And she goes, I loved your apples. I liked that they weren't overcooked and mushy, like, Gail waving goodbye to a carpool. And Podman's like, Ali, Tom, what about you? And Kirk's like, I loved yours, actually. It was such a homely dish. Gail's nickname in high school, the homely dish.
Voted most likely to be even homelier than she is now. Very specific title.
Tom, did you hear that? Did you ever think you'd be coming here to hear somebody call your cooking like someone's grandma? That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was pretty funny. It's pretty funny considering I'm wearing a turtleneck, which means I'm getting down to business. I can still be pretty funny, So Gail's like, well, I think they don't know if that's a compliment or not. Yeah, because Tom goes, I like this, or maybe it's not so pretty, but you can't pass it up. Yeah. He's German and doesn't understand comedy, so I think you have to be a little bit more explicit, Tom.
That was actually from Gail's wedding vows. Not so pretty, but you can't pass it up. It's very touching. I was there.
So this is a hard decision. We have a lot to discuss. Just kidding. You're all poor and we never want to see you again. Goodbye.
Basically, at the end of the day, all of you lose. So let's make this quick, okay? It's been a long one. I did an entire scene today without a gel mat. Can we just please get this moving along?
Here, let's just put it this way. When the London eye saw you, it became the London shut eye.
Yeah. So basically,
it didn't want to look anymore. What I'm trying to say is that it's an eyeball that closed its eyelid because you were so awful to look at. What is no one getting about my humor these days? Is it because I had fake Ali Wong here?
My God. It's like, what is it every time I talk about eyes or what? Okay, sorry, no more eyes wide shut. Let's just make Gail no mouth wide shut. Okay, starring Gail Simmons and Tom
2001, Lewis. A Gail Calorie Odyssey.
Yeah. So they talk it over. Basically, it comes down to Sarah and Amar, most creative, but the cardinal sin, as Sarah said, was undercooking the lamb. And so they are brought out. Tom C does his, in the year 1942, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. There was a man named Wellington. He got beat by Napoleon, which is an ice cream that has 3 different flavors. And sometimes you have to say, listen, is it worth getting crazy and putting butter in mashed potatoes? Or would you rather, make a 3-colored ice cream? And I think that's how we came to our winner. Padma?
Yeah,
Padma?
I mean, I just want to say, you know what? It's tough to send anyone home on a team challenge this late in the season. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it just because it's fun. And listen, I wouldn't walk out of here with your heads down. Just have your heads up, and just think while your heads are up that you failed right at the last minute, because the person who made the absolute worst Wellingtons is gonna go home for it.
Padma?
Mama,
Padma?
mama.
Sarah and Amar, please pack your breast milk into jeans and go. Get out of my face.
Well, there's always a Last Chance Kitchen, or as Buddha calls it, LCK, and we'll see you there. It's the finale too, so you might be coming right back out here. So who knows?
But it's not the finale, because next week they don't say on the season finale. So is it the season finale? No,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. But they say next time someone's coming back. So maybe, well, next week is 2012. So I don't know how many episodes they have in this. But
Sarah's like, well, thank you all very much for giving me the opportunity to
Oh.
be part of the Top Chef family again. Quiet, you're not part of my family. You're part of, I don't know, some poor person's family on the side of the street. My family involves Ali Wong, Lena Waithe, David Chang, and Killian Murphy. Welcome to the family, Killian.
Lord. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe next week's the season finale. Maybe it's not. We really don't have any idea, but we'll be here either.
No, it's not the season. Season finale of Last Chance Kitchen, you mean?
Oh, yes. He's saying next week it's the season finale of Last Chance Kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he meant the show. I was like, how's that
No.
possible?
Oh,
Wow.
you poor thing. Must
Really
have been so
gelled that one up.
confused.
Yeah.
Really
All right,
gelled
well,
it.
okay, well, we got our answer. So thank you for being here. Thanks for being with us on Crappens on Demand. Remember, if you want these videos video fresh right when they come out, be a member on Crappens on Demand. Otherwise, audio's up right away and the video will be up for you next week. Thank you so much for being here with us, you guys. We love you. Bye.
Bye.